Sure. Here you are, Mr. Burgundy. The chef made it special for you. You eat that for the way you talk about my city.
I will not eat that.
You are going to eat that cat poop.
I will not eat cat poop.
You will eat cat poop.
Ron Burgundy says no.
You make a fool of me and everyone here. You put that cat poop in your mouth.
No.
Yes.
No.
See.
I will not eat cat poop.
You will do it immediately.
No.
You will.
Fine, I'll try to eat one.
Yeah, get in there.
If I take one bite, will you get me a steak? If I take one bite of shit, will you bring me a steak?
I'll think about it. Yeah, get in there. You see? Yeah.
Oh, please.
Start with the egg.
I'm so hungry. I don't...
There.
Oh, God.
A steak, a big steak for him, please.
Oh. No. I had one bite.
That's not enough.
Son of a bitch.
Like this? You take it like this? Oh, don't cry. Don't cry. He's not crying. He's not crying. Don't cry, man.
I'll eat the shit. I don't care.
Don't cry, please.
I'll eat the entire hunk of shit.
Okay.
Oh.
Finish it up. Don't you feel better now?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Second Street Marvel. I hope you're all doing very good this evening. It's been a while since I've been here doing a live stream. Mostly because, well, you know, what was it? Coming out of last weekend, I ended up getting sick. I'm not sure if you can tell, my voice is still feeling a little Darth Vader-y right now. It's still a little low and scratchy, and believe me, it still kind of hurts a little bit. But thank you all so much for being here today. And today we are going to talk about Marvel Studios and some of the woes they have been going through, or the roller coaster of Marvel news that has been going on over the past couple of weeks. In case you guys don't know, there was an article released a couple of weeks ago from Variety, kind of highlighting the low lights, highlighting, you know what I'm talking about, doing that for the Marvel Cinematic Universe and just kind of what's been going on there. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And then, just like I said, the roller coaster of events, because then it seems like last week everybody was on this some sort of MCU high after Loki's season 2, episode 5 was getting ready to come out, and there was some other good news on the horizon. And then all of a sudden we get to this week. Where once again, Marvel Studios is apparently in trouble once again. And we're going to talk about all of that stuff. Thank you all so much for being here. I see we've got some very great people here in the chat. I see we've got my man RC Scott. We've got Lucas Texvenger in the building, as well as Daniel Fisher. Here we've got James Jimenez here as well. And looks like that's it. I don't see anybody else. I'm kidding. We got Nikki here in the building as well. And you know what? Look, this thing's not showing up again. Why isn't... What's with this stupid thing? Why don't the chat want to show up? Is there a reason the chat don't like showing up on this stream? You know what? Here, let me try. Let me see if I can get this to come up. Oh man. All right, let me see here. Okay. Let's see if I can. Oh, look, it started to come up. Didn't it? I swear I just seen it start to come up. Didn't it start to come up? Oh man. There we go. I think we got it now. Oh man, piece of junk. There we go. What the heck? How did it do that? What's going on here? Go home, Streamlabs. You're drunk. There we go. We got it. It's working. Or is it not working? What the heck? You see how it's partially working there? I don't know what's going on here. Let me see if I can do this thing here. We'll refresh. Man, I don't know what it is, man. Maybe you just don't like me on this setting. You go in through Streamlabs and you have different scenes, or you have different things that you can do to set up, like for different streams and stuff. And there it is. It's working. Make up your mind, Streamlabs. Who cares? You take long in Streamlabs to re-chat anyway. All right. Well, it's so people can watch it later. Right? Yeah, I know it is. Like, what's up with that? What's going on here? I don't know what's going on here. Why is it? I don't know what's up with that. I don't know, man. Okay, what the heck is it doing? Oh my god. There we go. It should be good now. Man. What the heck? Man, I don't even know. It's all I know is it's working now. We got it. Yeah, there we go. No, that was, for some reason there's multiple, I don't know. Regardless, I hope you're all doing well today. I would get on and talk about some new comic books that came out this week, but I didn't have any comic books on my pull list this week. I think, well, there was one, but it's a series I'm behind on, and I actually haven't even started reading. So, I mean, is it a good series? I don't know. I haven't read it, so I can't say that it's bad. But I did actually pick up this book that I had sitting there waiting at my LCS for me. It came in a while back, and that is this is from Boom Studios. This is the Faithless hardcover. It's got all 3 volumes of Faithless. If you don't want to see risque stuff, you probably don't want to see this cover. We got some this risque cover on here. Yeah, I've never read it, but it's Brian Azzarello, Maria Lovett. I figured I'd check it out. You know, it's smut, I guess, somewhat. But also, I got this because Boom Studios seems to put out these really nice format books for when they do these hardcovers. They've only done a few of them that I know of. I mean, I think they've done one for Power Rangers also, but they've got this Faithless one. They did one for Once and Future, and they also did one a while back for Something Is Killing the Children as well. And you can tell it's just in this slightly bigger form than the magazine than the comic books, as you can see, a little bit bigger. So the format of it is very nice. So I went ahead and picked that up, and I thought, I figured I'd read it, check it out. If it's any good, I'll keep it. If not, maybe I'll give it away. Maybe. We'll see. But thank you all once again so much for being here. I also did pick up this other book that just came out as well. This is the Bill Sienkiewicz Mutants and Moon Knights and Assassins. This is like these kind of larger format books that IDW does. Yeah, it's in the plastic still. The IDW does. And it's got a lot of Bill Sienkiewicz art and just other things that he's worked on inside of this book. I haven't really got a chance to get through it and look through here or anything, but it's Bill Sienkiewicz. He's got some absolutely great art. In case you guys don't know, he is basically like the artist who started he was the artist on the original Moon Knight run, which I thought was really excellent, which is something we're going to get back to, as I'm getting my voice back here. Can you guys hear my voice? See how kind of deep it is? I almost sound like Philip Anselmo up in this piece of shit. But as we get back into that, we're going to do some members-only live streams where we're getting back in, and we'll read some Moon Knight. I really want to read the Thunderbolts with you guys. We'll do, and we'll be doing some of that. So yes. Also, I did pick up. This was last week. I had some other comics came in as well. This is for Heat Seeker. This is one of the covers there. We also got this cover here on Heat Seeker. Just some really good stuff. Let's see what got this cover right here. You guys know, for series I like, I go all out. I don't do cover buys. I don't do just cover buys. I actually read the series, really enjoy it, so I support it by getting the different covers that it has. Really, really great stuff here with Heat Seeker. We also had Ribbon Queen come out last week as well. A couple of different covers here. I've got the other cover in the house that I was reading. I actually picked these up. These were sitting at the shop that I had. These issues of Common America. Oh, and I also picked up Supergirl. I also picked up Supergirl last week, mostly because I haven't read the book. I didn't really pick it up for that. I picked it up because the artist inside is one of my favorite artists. That is Skylar Patridge. She does some absolutely great work, and I'm sure I can probably flip through here somewhere and find a picture where you'll see where there'll be a perfect example of how great her artwork is, as far as showing characters' faces and emotion. Just really good, just really great art coming out of Skylar Patridge. I follow her on Instagram and Twitter. Just really great stuff. I absolutely love her work. So when she gets work from, I don't give a shit if it's Marvel, DC, or who it is. I always try to pick up her work just because it's really good. I also actually picked up these. Yeah, I did some cover buys for White Widow. I didn't read this book, but I heard the story in this book is shit. So I don't know. Let me know if you guys got a chance to read White Widow. I will tell you, there's actually a series that I wouldn't say to go out there and support, because fuck the people over at Absolute Comics Group. But they used to have this character called White Widow. I've actually got a couple of reviews here on the channel. I thought the comic book was good, but then these people, they kind of stopped making the book. They did a crowdfund through Kickstarter. Hell, I think it's been about 2 years ago now. The book still hasn't come in. They're sitting there dragging their feet. You go to Kickstarter, you ask like, hey, are there any updates? What's going on? They won't fucking answer, and they're just really terrible with keeping their backers informed on stuff. I can't at this point in good conscience say to go out there and support their books, you can still pick them up at your local comic book shop. So there's that if you want to go through previews and all that stuff. But you know what? At this point, I've got to the point where I've decided, fuck these guys. And yeah, so that's where I am with that. In case you guys don't know, I did a stream a couple of months ago talking about exactly that, and I actually was going to do a video talking a little bit more about that, about when it comes to the crowdfunding projects and some of the things that I see, and you know, just my experience as a backer in backing different crowdfunded projects, and you know, hopefully, you know, it can be advice for people who, like yourself, maybe you like comic books and you want to go out there and find a good comic to crowdfund, or maybe you're a creator and you're looking for some of the different thoughts of and experiences of different backers through different projects that they have backed. So I don't know. Very, very good stuff. Very good stuff. But let me see how you all are doing here. See how you all doing here. Let's see. The fuck, my message is not going through. Yeah, what's up with that? Are they not going through on here? Yeah, no, I see them. I see them, Nikki. Yeah, no, they're there. Yeah. Glad you're on the mend. I had a sinus infection since my birthday, which finally cleared out. Man, and your birthday was like right around the same time as my wife's birthday, so that's been a couple of weeks there, Daniel. Yeah. But he's not directing a Star Wars movie now? Yeah, right? Yeah, no. Trinity blocked me. I'm going to cry as hard as Kevin Feige is. Yeah. Yeah, no, he's not direct. No. No, word comes to mind to describe people that believe that rumor, Daniel Fisher. Oh, what rumor? That he's gonna direct a movie? That he's gonna direct a movie? Looks like Streamlabs. Yeah. Okay. He's going to Streamlabs to read chat anyway. Yeah, we got that okay, we got that figured out. Of course, my comment shows. Yeah, there we go. Exactly. It did. That's good. Yeah, we got it. Kevin Feige's infiltrating your stream, probably. Fee-fi-fo Feige. RC Scott in the building says, I was happy with one superhero movie a year. You know, I'd be happy with 2 or 3. I'd be happy with several. But the thing is, they've got to be good. Lucas Texvenger is back. All right. Okay. So as I was saying, a couple weeks ago, Variety did this article, really kind of laying out kind of the mess that Marvel Studios has been here over the past couple years, talking about this retreat that a lot of the executives go on and some of the things they were discussing. And obviously, when you go on a retreat like this, I'm sure it's a fun, good time, but then you obviously, because of that, it's a business trip. You have to deal with all kinds of serious shit as well. And they get in there and talk about kind of the state of the union for the people who work at the company. And, you know, just discussing those kinds of things. And they go in and they talked about all kinds of different things going on at Marvel Studios, and just kind of basically what a shit show it's been ever since Avengers Endgame. And can we be honest here? It's probably been that way since before that. You know what I mean? It's probably really been a shit show probably the whole time, but they were able to manage it. You know what I mean? Like, I figure the way Marvel Studios is and probably always has been, it's kind of like watching Brett Favre play football. You know, I remember this one time I was watching this game where Brett Favre, he used to play for the Green Bay Packers, in case you don't know, where he was sitting there. He was known as the gunslinger because but he was sitting there. He gets the ball hiked to him, and he goes to throw the ball. It slips out of his hand, not in a forward motion, so it falls on the ground. And he's sitting there trying to pick up the ball. You know, he's sitting there kicking the ball as he's trying to pick it. It looked like a fucking Football Follies film. Like, it looked like a real from Football Follies. He's sitting there tripping around trying to pick up the football. Somehow, I don't even know how, he's still behind the line of scrimmage after he's sitting there fumbling around with the ball like an idiot for like 10 minutes. I swear it was 10 minutes. 10 minutes of football time. And he still manages to fucking scoop the ball into somebody's fucking hands. And it ended up being like some big play. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, what the fuck? I feel like that's what Marvel Studios is. I feel like they've kind of like at first, you know, when the dream was just, you know, through that phase 1 and maybe part of phase 2, like it was all just a dream starting to come true. They kind of, you know, they were doing a few projects, you know, probably never more than one at a time. It started to build. And then by the time they get into phase 3, there's so much shit going on. They're like, they just have no fucking clue what's going on. It's a complete shit show, but somehow they're still managing to juggle and make it work. And then once you got to right around probably Infinity War, Ant-Man, Captain Marvel, Endgame, and beyond that, it's like they're sitting there juggling like, hey, I'm doing this juggling. And they're like, no, you're fucking not. What's going on is you've got a few balls that it looks like you're juggling. You keep dropping them, but there's somebody on the side fucking throwing balls back in so that it looks like they still have 3 balls constantly. You know what I mean? Like it looks like they're doing something, but you know, it's just like it's just a shit show. It's just a shit show. But they were managing up until that point. And I really feel like that's kind of what's going on. And there's this book that came out by this lady. I didn't actually pick up the book, talking about, you know, kind of Marvel Studios and a lot of the stuff that's been going on behind the scenes, basically the whole time. And then going into this Variety article where they're basically talking about how terrible everything's been, in case you weren't able to tell how shitty and terrible it's been since then. Right? I mean, when you got people like Nate Moore, who is basically the executive producer of, you know, the head guy in charge of the Black Panther franchise, who after the lead star dies, you know, reacts quicker to Chadwick Boseman dying than George Bush did during 9/11 when those planes hit those towers. He reacted quicker to fucking Chadwick Boseman dying and deciding not to recast faster than that. And you know, and that, like, that in itself, I mean, is one thing. And then he comes out in these fucking interviews like a bonehead and says that they actually go out of their way to hire people who do not like the comics, who haven't read them, which is like a big fucking mistake. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that you gotta be, if you're a creator, if you're a producer, you know, Marvel Studios, whatever. I'm not saying that you gotta have people in there who are as gung-ho as even I am. Like, I'm not even, like, I love fucking comics. I like reading this shit, but even I'm, like, even I can admit, I'm not the hugest fan of everybody. I don't know all these different storylines. Look, you don't have to be fucking Rob from Comics Explained to be a director or a writer for any of these movies. But could you at least be a fan of the series that you're writing, of the characters that you're writing, and can you have at least read some of it? Can you at least read a fucking trade paperback and have at least some sort of a little tiny inkling of something that you're going to base your series or your movie off of? You should have that. You shouldn't be having this fucking attitude like, oh, fuck the fans. We're just hiring people who just, you know, who just want a job. This guy wanted a job. He fucking walked in. He was some bum off the street. He's been sitting there fucking waitering at the restaurant I go to and bugging me. And finally I said, fuck it. All right, man. Like, want a job? It's just so you leave me the fuck alone. I'll give you one. Maybe the busboy gave him a hand job. Maybe it was some head. I don't know. But that's pretty much the pool they've been picking out of. And it's been pretty fucking obvious for a while. All right? You know, we thought it was pretty bad when Jack Schaefer came out during the WandaVision series saying, I don't even know who Mephisto is. I'm pretty sure she was just trolling. Like, I think she knew who Mephisto was. But I think everybody beyond that that's been hired probably has no fucking clue. Anyway, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little worked up here. So this article came out from Variety, and all of a sudden after this article came out, you could see everybody and their dog and even their mother, and maybe their dog's mother too, sitting there trashing Marvel Studios about how bad it's been, and it's like kick them when they're up, kick them when they're down. Like all of a sudden, like these articles start to come out, and even the biggest fucking shill channels and journalists out there are all on the hunt. They're all trying to get their taste of the blood through the clickbait fucking articles, videos, etc. while they're down. While meanwhile, most of the time they're sitting there trying to suck Kevin Feige's penis. Well, you know, that's what it is. Kick them when they're up and kick them when they're down. And they're sitting there going through all of it. You know, they're sitting there just playing right along with everything. You know, the gloves came off. They no longer wanted to be nice. It was getting pretty bad, all these clickbait articles that were out there. Like, it was so bad. I'm saying, like, Jesus Christ, like, who's next? What's going on here? And then, all of a sudden, last week, everybody acts like we got some big victory coming out of last week because Loki season 2, episode 5 came out, which was a banger, right? Everybody loved that show so much. Tastes good. No, the Loki show sucks. But regardless, the point being is everybody's all excited. There's a lot of people out there enjoying it, and that's fine. If you enjoy it, that's perfectly fine. Like me, I don't like. For me, it's not even the show itself necessarily as much as it is a lot of the actors that are in the show that really bring down the quality of the show. You got Tom Hiddleston there acting his ass off. You got Owen Wilson there doing the best he can. Meanwhile, they've got a cast of, a backing cast of people who just simply cannot act very good. You got this girl who's supposed to be female Loki. She's, the girl playing B-15 is, it's just been a shit show. A cacophony of terrible acting around these two pretty damn good actors, right? These two pretty damn good actors. But everybody's loving it, and that's good if you're liking it. That's fine. You can enjoy it. For me, I don't enjoy it. If you like it, that's fine. That's fine. Let me know how you feel about it down in the comments below. Let me know how wrong I am. It's okay. I can take it. So everybody was kind of riding this high like, oh, everything's been so bad. But Loki season, episode 5 came out. Oh, it's so good. Oh, and then Friday hits and we get the Echo trailer. Everybody's all excited about Echo. Like, oh, man, this show, I thought it was going to suck, but this actually looks pretty good. They put out a banger trailer. I think for me what it is watching all this stuff go down is just seeing how fickle and wishy-washy people are. Right? That's just how fickle and wishy-washy people are because, everybody's like, yeah, fuck Marvel Studios 1 minute. And then the next minute they're like, oh my God, this is the best. And now this week, we get to this week and the Marvels is getting ready to release along with the season finale of Loki as well tomorrow. And everybody's all down on Marvel again. It's all of a sudden not so good. I'll tell you some of the reviews for the Marvels started to come in, and I was over watching the Den of Nerds this morning, and Josh was over there kind of going through a bunch of the different reactions, and I got to tell you, it was pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting to say the least, but we'll get into some of that here in just a few minutes. But really what this kind of shows me is what's been going on these past couple of weeks is exactly how wishy-washy people are. You got these people out there who are normally riding the jock of Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios who have been kicking them while Variety, the big people, are kicking them and got them down. Everybody else kind of joins in on the fight. And, everybody acts like, the script got flipped as soon as we got, a new episode of a terrible show and a trailer for another terrible show. Everybody acts like it's all good again. But, there are people out there. There are some people out there, like myself, who have, maybe somewhat of a balanced view of it all and says, yeah, I'm not completely disappointed with everything that's come out of Marvel Studios over the past couple years. It's not all dog shit, but it's also not all great. Some of it's okay. Some of it's decent. Some of it's meh, I'm not here to drag down and talk shit about Marvel Studios like they're the worst. I'm not going to act like I'm also not going to sit here and get all excited. Because, they drop, what is apparently a fire trailer. I mean, I seen the trailer. It looks all right. I'm not going to totally get down because they have released a few shitty movies like Thor Love and Thunder, probably the worst of them all, and Wakanda Forever, which was an absolutely horrible movie. And you can feel how you want to about that. I know certain people have certain feelings about it, and they just think it's the best thing ever. But you know what? Can we just be honest? It wasn't that good of a movie. Then we get into Quantumania, which was an absolute fucking mess. Like, I love Ant-Man. I love all the people that are in that movie, man. Great, like, the great cast. But the movie, man, it was pretty bad, man. Some of the CGI in there, some of the scenes in there, just, it really didn't work. Yeah, and I hate to say that because, like I said, I love Paul Rudd, man. He's the man. I love Paul Rudd. Angelina Lily. Michael Douglas. Anyway, it was pretty bad. Then we get this other monstrosity known as the Guardians of the Galaxy. Everybody seems to love James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy. You know what? That movie sucks. You know, I remember I tried to watch it here at home after it came out. And everything that I didn't like about it in the movie theater stood out so much more and made the experience so much. I couldn't even get through the damn movie. I had to shut it off. I had to shut the movie off. You get through the parts of it where, you know, like every single scene, like especially like the first half of the movie, every time they fucking switch a scene, they got a new song on. Like, okay, like I get it. You like to do your Tarantino thing with the music. I get it, James Gunn. But the music is fucking blasted to the hilt to where it takes me out of the movie, where I feel like I'm supposed to be sitting around, you know, tipping back a few beers, smoking a fatty with some friends, just jamming on a Friday night. And, you know, like the music is just too loud through so many parts. And it just keeps pulling me out of the movie. A lot of the sequences, just everything about the movie itself was just not really that good. And I got to say, I mean, I guess it was better than Quantumania and Wakanda Forever and Love and Thunder, but probably not by much. It's still almost unwatchable. Kind of like Spider-Man No Way Home. But, you know, like I said, is it the worst? No. Believe me, I've seen worse movies, but, you know, going back and wanting to watch them, I just don't really want to do it. Like, I can go back and watch Multiverse of Mayhem and think like, yeah, it's okay. It's not bad. It's not terrible. It's got some pretty good, cool things that happen in there. You know, certainly better than Loki. But that's just me. Like I said, I'm not completely down on it all. You guys know, like, some of my favorite shows, the series, and even movies that have come out through Phase 4 and 5 are, you know, what I would say a lot of people would say are probably some of the worst ones. Like, my favorite is The Eternals. After that, I'd hear an argument for Shang-Chi as well. Shang-Chi I thought was pretty good. Black Widow, it's all right. You know, like I said, I'm not down on everything. One of my favorite shows out of all the shows that came out, you know, obviously WandaVision is my favorite of all the shows that they've done on Disney Plus. But my second favorite, man, I think it's probably the best one, the best put together series they did is Ms. Marvel, starring Iman Vellani, who apparently is making quite a name for herself in the new Marvel's movie. I think through every single video, every single review that we've seen, that we watched this morning of the Marvels, this new movie coming out tomorrow, they all seem to mention her and how she was the one. She was the presence on the screen. She was the one kind of lighting it up. And after watching the show, the Ms. Marvel show, I have zero doubt about that. After watching that show, I was captivated. I'm like, damn, I like Iman Vellani. Beautiful young lady. She has this enthusiasm about her that makes me want to see her on screen. She, you know, sort of has that kind of charisma that so many of these other people, obviously in this movie, do not have. When I see her face and I see her as this character, it makes me want to smile. It makes me want to watch. It makes me want to pay attention. Now, I'm not one of those people out there who hates Brie Larson. I think she's, you know, I think she's mildly annoying at best. I'm not like some huge fan, but I'm also not somebody who's gonna sit here and act like she's the worst just because she made some boneheaded comments at a Women in Films award show, which something I've talked about here several times. I think she was right about what she was saying. She just needed to find a better way to say it, right? Just find a better way to say it. You know, and you know, the other star of the movie, Tiana Paris, like, I can't say I've really ever seen her in much more than what I seen her in WandaVision. And even in that, I'm not really too convinced about how good of an actor she is. And it makes me wonder, maybe I'll get a second serving here as we go into the Marvels to see how good she is. Because, thinking back on it in the WandaVision show, she didn't really have to show off a whole lot of chops. She didn't really have to do a whole lot. Didn't have a whole lot of responsibilities as far as carrying the show, being a big name or anything in the show. And then here in the Marvels, she's obviously going to be playing a much bigger part, a much bigger role in this movie. And I guess we'll see after I see the movie what I think about, I guess my second take of her and her abilities and being able to act, because you guys know that's one of the things I like. I'm going on about the Loki show that I definitely critique is one of the things for all these shows, for these characters that these actors are embodying within these movies and TV shows is something they need to be able to do, to be able to act, to embody these characters, to be able to emote and convey emotion through their facial expressions and in their voice tonality and their cadence in which they are speaking. All those things combined are what make a good actor and what make a good performance within a movie and or TV show. And I just don't see a whole lot of it, like I said, coming out of the actors like out of the Loki show. I mean, it's just really not there with a lot of those people. I see in Tiana Paris, I see her, beautiful woman, but at this point I'm asking, can she act? I don't know. But then I see like this young lady, Iman Vellani, and I see her on the show, what she was in, and she's only, as far as I know, she's only been in the one show. I think Ms. Marvel was her first acting gig. And watching the show, I mean, I think she did everything that she was supposed to do in that show. But it's also, plays to maybe what strengths she has and also who she is in the first place, being a Marvel fangirl, but obviously being a young lady who is a fan of these things, but is also playing this character who is kind of uber excited to be in this situation where she's at around these other heroes that she looks up to. And it almost feels like that's something that somebody in her position and her spot in life at this point is probably relatively easy to pull off. But we've also heard from everybody reviewing this movie that she is knocking it out of the park in this movie as well, which I'll tell you, I'm not the slightest bit surprised about. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I've been flopping my gums here. We'll get in here and see what you guys are saying. I know there's a little bit more talk I want to talk about, like with Kevin Feige and what's going on there, and how it's all become kind of a shit show, and maybe he's going to be abandoning ship soon, right? Yeah, I could be wrong. But let's get in here and see what you all are saying. Okay. Trinity has read 50 Shades confirmed. I haven't read it. I haven't even seen the movies. All right, we got the Nerdy Brew in the building. Thank you so much for being here. Guys, the Nerdy Brew has a channel as well. You can go check him out. Let me know what you think. Pay no attention to Feige behind the curtain, right? Is he really back there? Yeah, I don't know. We got Weed Richards 420 in the building. Weed Richards, I hope you're doing well. Fell off a cliff when they screwed up Hulk and Thor, two of the strongest and the ones with the most substance. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you, Weed Richards. Like, I really liked the first two Thor. I was a big fan of the first two Thor movies. I enjoyed them. I know a lot of people didn't like the Dark World, but then by the time we got to Ragnarok, everybody's like, and I thought Ragnarok, it was okay. But then we get to Love and Thunder, and at that point, I'm sitting like, man, I tried to tell y'all motherfuckers that Dark World wasn't really that bad, was it? But yeah, and then even the Hulk, what they done with him, and which really is a shame with what they did with his character. He also says Loki 2 is shit. Yeah, it hasn't really been good. I mean, it's funny because, man, what was it I was watching? Was it Jeremy John's review of the Marvels where they were talking? He was it that one? Oh yeah, where he's talking about the Marvels movie, just like having a couple of side quests and everything. And I'm like, man, like, you know what? That perfectly describes every episode, especially of season 2 of Loki, is every damn episode is another side quest. Like, what? Like, does anybody know what the plot of this show is? I mean, I could probably sum it up. I mean, Loki goes on a journey of self-discovery, and along the way decides to save the TVA, but runs into some, I don't know, some pushback. Somebody who doesn't want him to do that. yeah, it's pretty bad. How about that haircut on Scar? Says Daniel Fisher. Yeah. Oh man, that was pretty bad. They tried to give him the Lee Mubai, right, from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, but they went up a little too far. You want to do the Lee Mubai, you got to take it back. You got to take it back more, right? Yeah, you got to take it back more. Wait, there's an echo in here. The Nerdy Brew says a balanced perspective is a good view. I like the Moon Knight and Shang-Chi. Well, I think the Moon Knight show is okay. That's not Moon Knight. That's definitely not the Moon Knight I've read in any of the comics that I own. But yeah, I mean, the show itself, it had all the stuff there to be a good show. It just, for me, it just wasn't that great. Like, it was all right, but for me, like, altogether, that's not really the character of Moon Knight that I know from the comics. But altogether, I mean, I think it was a decent show though. Daniel says, I'll admit that some people, myself included, just like certain directors, most of them are very polarizing in my opinion. What do you mean? The directors? The directors are very polarizing? Yeah. I can see that. I enjoyed Shang-Chi and Ms. Marvel. Yeah. I thought Shang-Chi was pretty good. Where's Carl to comment on Brie now? Yeah, right? Where is Carl? Yeah. She was in They Cloned Tyrone. Oh, Tiana Paris was? Okay. I didn't get a chance to watch that one. Is that on Netflix? I don't have Netflix. But I think, because that's the one with, what's his name in it, right? Jamie Foxx. And, man, who else is in that one? I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah, don't forget about Nikki. Yeah, and thank you, Daniel Fisher. Drop it. You know what? You're hired again, Daniel Fisher. You're hired. You're back. He's back. Oh, man. You guys had to be here a while. Anyway. Loki is like Seinfeld, a show about nothing. But Seinfeld was good. They actually had good writers on that show. And good acting. They actually had good acting, too. But, yeah, no, you're right. Daniel Fisher says, I mean, the director's interpretation can be polarizing. Oh, as far as what exactly? As far as what exactly? I never read a Moon Knight comic, only in crossovers. Okay, yeah. Like I said, for me, like I read the OG comics of Moon Knight, and then I did read the what was the one that they, I guess, took somewhat inspiration from, the Jeff Lemire Moon Knight. I did read that as well, and I guess I see some of the situations taking place in the show, but altogether, like, they just didn't really embody the character of Moon Knight in that show whatsoever. I'm not sure what's up with the enchanted suit. Everybody here knows I fucking hate that goddamn enchanted suit. Goddamn, man. Every time I see Moon Knight dress up, I'm thinking like bippity boppity boo. Yeah, I'm thinking little mice are gonna come out and just start creating this fucking Cinderella's dress, and at midnight it's gonna strike, and the shit's just gonna disappear. Okay. All right. I'll cool myself down. But yeah, no, I like Moon Knight though. Pretty good. Yeah, Sophie has a mullet, bro. A mullet. I know. Yes. Yes. That's funny. Yeah. No. Yeah, and I'm telling you, like the actor playing Sophia DiMartino, she's just not very good at acting. I mean, she can do the smell the fart acting. She can do the like do the mean face. You made me mad. Oh, you won't get pies. You won't get pies. Let's go get some pie. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm terrible. I know. Terrible. I'm terrible. So, how they adapt the scripts can also be unbalanced to the screen. Sometimes concepts are not executed. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I hear you, Daniel. Yeah, how they come out and they I feel, Daniel, like what you're talking about right here is probably like a little something called like The Last Jedi and Rian Johnson. Is it? I feel like that's what you're talking about. Maybe you might even be talking about J.J. Abrams. You might even be talking about J.J. Abrams. But, oh, man. Yeah. Sorry I've been in and out driving, but thank you, Daniel Fisher. Has he looked at us yet? Yes, I have. What are you talking about? I have. I've been interacting the whole time, Nikki. There's only like maybe 5 to 10 minutes where I was just sitting there flapping my gums. There's only like, I swear it was only, holy shit, we're already 46 minutes in. I swear, it was like 5 to 10 minutes. Like 5 to 10 minutes. But yeah, no, I've been looking at you the whole time, Nikki. I swear. Especially you. Oh. Yes, right, for sure. JJ and even Raimi are polarizing. Yeah, I mean, the thing with Raimi is, as far as the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, I will say that movie was definitely missing Scott Derrickson. Raimi definitely came in and did his thing, which isn't necessarily bad, but I do feel like there were some things in there that might not have been there otherwise. Like, I really like, yeah, I don't even know. Like, and it's not the Illuma-Wuddy. It's not the Illuma-Wuddy line either. Or Scooby-Doo this shit. No, I don't. But Raimi definitely does some things I think are absolutely great and are present in that movie. But I also kind of feel like he was in a position when he got brought onto the movie where somebody was already cooking Thanksgiving dinner and they left, and he had to come in and finish Thanksgiving dinner with everything. The turkey was already in the oven, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he had to continue after they put the turkey in the oven. Like, it was, everything else was, being worked on, and he was sitting there trying to balance out what he could. But yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you with the Raimi. Yeah. I think they could have made it. Like, I'm not sure who else they could have brought on, but like I said, I like Raimi. I just, they probably could have used a different flavor. They probably could have just kept Scott Derrickson on. Kept him happy. How did they lose Scott Derrickson so easy, yet they still got Mahershala Ali? I don't even know how that's going on, man. And that was one of the other things in that Variety article talking about the shit show that is the Blade movie. As we all know, Mahershala Ali kind of reached out to Kevin Feige to play the character of Blade in the upcoming, I don't know, is it reboot or just the MCU version of Blade? And at one point, he was pretty upset when they were making the movie, talking about how silly and goofy it was, that he was ready to just take off and leave. And Kevin Feige came in, he interjected and said, no, hold on, we'll fix this. And then they're talking about how this movie was supposed to, he was going to be supposedly one of the versions of the script where he was going to be basically the fourth wheel. And it was just going to be about a bunch of whammons and life lessons, It kind of sounded like it was going to be Thelma and Louise meets How Stella Got Her Groove Back. Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much a shame. Considering, I mean, I haven't seen Mahershala Ali in a whole bunch of movies, but what I have seen him in, he's pretty good. And I think seeing that version, his version of Moon Knight, would have actually been really interesting to see. Or not Moon Knight, but Blade would be good to see. Would be good to see, especially considering they didn't recast T'Challa, so we need at least another good, strong black character in the MCU, right? Go ask my man Chillmonger. Although he'll disagree and say, no, they just need to do Black Panther. Because he's the biggest character in Marvel Comics. Black character. Right? But, you know, I mean, I think we could get... I think it would be great to get a Luke Cage or a Blade. I think it would be great. It'd be great to see Falcon be his own character. To be his own man as well. But, you know... Yeah, Cottonmouth. Yeah, he was great as Cottonmouth. Yep. I fully admit to having a Raimi bias, which is why I enjoyed Multiverse of Mayhem more than the average theater goer. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he definitely brought his flavor in that one. But speaking of which, the next thing I wanted to talk about was also all this drama with Kevin Feige. One of the things that's also come out is how supposedly Kevin Feige is rumored to be going over to take over at Lucasfilm. Start taking over Star Wars and hopefully breathe some new life into the Star Wars franchise, which I think it needs. You know, we were on Josh's stream this morning and they were kind of talking about this. You know, of course, you know, everybody has their thoughts on that. You know, like, oh, like, you need to, you know, like this shit ain't gonna happen. And you know, I seen somebody in the chat was like, why would Kevin Feige basically leave one shit show to go to another? And, you know, to which, you know, I responded like, that's how it works. Like, have you ever watched like any professional sports? That's what happens. I don't give a shit if it's baseball, football, fucking basketball. You got a coach who's doing shitty with this team and it's just not happening. So what's he do? He fucking leaves. Maybe he gets fired, maybe he gets demoted, whatever. But he goes to another team and starts fresh there and builds up a team there and takes them to the Super Bowl or the Stanley Cup or what have you. And, you know, that team that was doing shitty gets a new coach. And maybe they have a downtime for a while and they have to rebuild. A lot of these things take time. But that's what happens. Why would Kevin Feige leave one shit show for the other? Well, because he's been over here for a while, and it's perfectly fine for somebody else to come in and take over the reins while he goes somewhere else and tries to rebuild there. You know, you get kind of a fresh perspective. You, as that person in that position, get a breath of fresh air, if you will, where you've kind of been, I wouldn't necessarily say smothered, but kind of occupied and preoccupied with so much that's going on in this universe that you basically help build, that you go over and you take over a new franchise and you're able to see some success in that venue. That's exactly what happens in sports like every fucking year, right? Coaches go to different teams and rebuild teams, or they take and sometimes they don't even have to rebuild. They might have all the right pieces. They just have to kind of reorganize things and how things work and start having success again. But there was this interview I seen. Josh was showing this interview where some lady was talking to Kevin Feige about his Star Wars movie. She asked him about his Star Wars movie on the red carpet for the Marvels. And she asked him about his Star Wars movie. And he's like, well, you know, what movie? She's like, oh, that movie. Well, the thing is Kevin Feige's not a director. And the way he answered her is exactly the way he knows how to answer questions like that. And everybody can speculate about all the things. But she was talking about him going to Star Wars, and he's like, no, I don't have a Star Wars movie, because he don't have a Star Wars movie. If those rumors are true, he's not going over to direct or just produce a Star Wars movie. He's going over to be the fucking head honcho. He will go to Lucasfilm. He will take the full fucking reins, and he ain't going to be directing a goddamn movie. He's going to be finding directors, finding writers, finding people to come in and breathe new life into the Star Wars franchise. There is no Kevin Feige Star Wars movie coming out. So in essence, what happened was this interviewer asked the wrong question, or ask the right question with the wrong words. It's really how you word things. You know what I mean? It's you really got to word them right. And that's the thing is everybody's talking about, oh, this isn't going to happen. Oh, he said no. Well, he's not lying to what she said. She asked about his movie. He's not directing a movie. He's not even producing a fuck up. He's going over there to fully take the shit over. Supposedly. And I suspect that if he does leave Marvel Studios, obviously it would be a handful of years from now. They've probably got to get through Secret Wars, so a few years, and who knows how far that is now, how far off that is now, with all the strikes and everything going on, which apparently they're starting to come to some agreements, SAG-AFTRA and the actors, right? SAG-AFTRA and the studios, I guess, are starting to somewhat come to some agreements. But regardless of anything, that's a few years down the line where maybe he has time to sort of bring things back up at Marvel Studios, leave and go to Lucasfilm. Now, the thing is, I think he could actually go there and do that. But Kevin Feige leaving Marvel Studios to go over and take over Star Wars, while I think it's probably a good idea, how much time do we have? The Star Wars is going to be good. I mean, he gave us a pretty good, 12 years or so with Marvel Studios. So, I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised if he goes over to Lucasfilm, if he does go over there to take things over, and ends up doing really good for about 10 years. So we might get a trilogy of movies, and, you know, with the way he works, maybe he can get 2 trilogies of movies out there, and maybe a few shows that might be good too. But then after that, it's all going to start to, get out of control. The juggling act is going to, the gig is going to be up, and it's going to turn to shit again. Which, to be honest, I would say even his run at Marvel Studios, just like it probably will be at Star Wars, which if he does go to take it over, great. If he don't, great. Is actually a pretty good time. If you think about the time that Kevin Feige has been at Marvel Studios, what he's done over the past 15 years, and we'll cut it back to 12, right? Because the last few have been kind of, right? Just a little. If you take a look at that, 12 years in this industry that he's in, doing what they're doing with these big franchises, I would say that's a pretty goddamn good run, man. And to expect a whole lot more out of somebody, I wouldn't say is unrealistic, but we're talking basically about the only guy who's fucking done it, right? We're basically talking about the only guy who's done it, who's had a franchise like this and built it up and been this successful for this many years. Now, that's not to say there's not other directors who have done a bunch of movies and have had great careers, or writers or actors or producers who have had great careers making movies, but we're talking about a single guy, and of course he has a team around him, who came in and built up a huge fucking catalog, a huge franchise of characters, and launched them into the fucking stratosphere. So I would say the time that he's been there in Marvel Studios, I would say it's been a good fucking run. And if he goes to Lucasfilm and he starts taking over Star Wars, and he has a run over there of 10 years, give or take a few, probably I would give him a few more. I would say that's a pretty good fucking run. I would say it's probably a better run than anybody else has had with the Star Wars franchise. Even the creator himself, right? Even the maker himself. Hey, yeah, I said it. I don't you. But I would say that's a pretty good run. But even if you look at George Lucas and his run that he had with his creation, obviously the original trilogy, absolutely phenomenal. They didn't do a whole lot of TV shows or anything back in those days. I mean, they had the holiday special, they had the Ewoks cartoon, and a couple other little things here and there. But the franchise itself was still relatively small and contained. and he comes back in the 90s, the late 90s, with the prequel trilogy. And at the time, I mean, I thought those movies were great the whole time. I really enjoyed them, but they came under a lot of I guess fair criticism when those movies were released, and they weren't the most highly regarded. But you fast forward to now, years later, and people fucking love those movies, you know? And that's not to say that the same thing's going to happen with the sequel trilogy. I mean, it could, especially considering this theory like Josh over the Den of Nerds is coming up with about how Dave Filoni might have this idea to sort of retcon what happened in the sequel trilogy and basically go put new things out there that make what happened in those movies make more sense, which is fine. But at that point, basically George Lucas was out, and you know, he basically really only had a relatively small time in that franchise. He worked with Star Wars obviously for years, but he really only did 2 trilogies. He only did the 6 movies, and like I said, very little in between. So you like comparing him to even Kevin Feige is really kind of I wouldn't even say, I mean, is it even apples and oranges? Is it apple? I mean, it might be apples and oranges, right? Or I mean, is it Granny Smith apples and Honeycrisp apples? I don't know. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. But regardless, I would say what Kevin Feige has done is pretty unprecedented. And if he was ever able to go over, and he did take over Lucasfilm like is being rumored, him giving a good 10 years over there and having success and building it up for that amount of time is pretty fucking good, considering you know they're going to have to do movies. They've got Disney Plus, if they still have it then. They've got to do the shows and stuff like that to kind of to put into the mix as well. I would say that a good 10 years over there building that up would be pretty good. It would be pretty phenomenal. What's he going to do after that? Planet of the Apes? Alien? I don't know. Spaceballs? Oh, man. But anyway, we got Star Wars MCU-OG in the building. What is up? How are you doing? Star Wars MCU-OG. I hope all's going well with you. Weed Richard says the Russo brothers would be great for Star Wars. Man, I don't know. They might be. Here's one of the things, Weed Richards, is, a lot of people praise the Russos, and believe me, they came out with some of the better Marvel Studios productions that we've had in the Captain America movies, as well as the last 2 Avengers films. I think they did an absolutely great job on. But, huge but here, is they had excellent fucking writers working with them there too. And Stephen Marcus and Christopher McFeely. Marcus and McFeely were fucking powerhouse writers who, when it came to those Captain America movies, really understood that character and had a passion for that character. And you can see it on screen. And they were actually, Marcus and McFeely actually had a lot to do with the Peggy Carter show that came out as well. I don't think they were necessarily writers, but I think they were producers on that show as well. So, I mean, I think it would take a combination of, because, even the Russos, I haven't watched any of their shit outside the MCU. It sounds like they haven't had the biggest success out of the MCU either. And, apparently one of those movies they even had Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely with them there too. So, I don't know. I think it definitely would take a combination of things, I think the most important things when it comes to that is obviously having writers who know the material they're writing and have a passion for it, as well as directors, definitely. When it comes to the actors, it would be nice to have actors that do have a knowledge and a passion for characters like that. But I think ultimately, and we've probably seen that with the MCU, is I think what it takes ultimately is just having talented actors who can embrace and embody these characters more so than having the passion necessarily for these characters. But having them have the passion and the love and all that stuff for the characters is even better. But I think that's something that's far more rare than any of us might think. Because you think about Robert Downey Jr. coming in to play Iron Man. You think he was passionate about Iron Man? You think he fucking knew about Tony Stark and all that stuff coming in? Like, oh yeah, he's a great in the comic. I doubt it. But he embodied the character well. Chris Evans, I mean, I honestly don't think for 2 seconds that Chris Evans probably was a huge fan of Captain America coming in or anything like that. I think he was just able to come in and embody the character. Scarlett Johansson, same thing. I think most of those people are probably in that same position. Chris Hemsworth with Thor. We just got some actors at the right time, at the right point in their careers, for the right films, for the right characters, and it worked out. And I wouldn't say it's lightning in a bottle, but I would say it was just the right timing for all of those kinds of things. And I think that's what it ultimately takes more than anything, is having a good actor who's able to embody the characters more so than necessarily the actors having that passion for those characters. I think that builds over time as they start to embody the character more and become a little bit more familiar with the character, especially their portrayal of the character. But yeah. But that's not to say the Russo brothers couldn't be good. That's not to say the Russo brothers couldn't be good for Star Wars. Tentative deal reached. Oh, there we go. We got an article from Variety. I'm not sure if I could read a Variety article on here. I think my man Chillmonger would probably boycott. I think he'd probably boycott and be like, you know what? Fuck your channel, Trinity. Reading that fucking Variety bullshit. Apparently he's a bigger Star Wars fan than comic fan. Yeah. Kevin Feige, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think that was so funny. That was one of those things in the article, or was it that book that came out too? They were talking about like Kevin Feige in college. He wasn't, he was more of a Star Wars fan. He wasn't really a big comics guy. Like his roommate got him into the comics and all that kind of shit. And like, I don't even care about that. As long as he has the passion for it, all you got to do is find people that do like the comics, that do like these characters, that can come in and do the role. I mean, does it matter if fucking if Pete Carroll can get out on the goddamn field and throw the football and be a great quarterback? No. He's got coaches that coach the good quarterback that goes out there and does that, right? Like, you just got to have the right people in place to do things. So, yeah. I mean, I don't think, I know some people make such a big deal about those kind of things. I'm like, I don't think that's even a big deal about Kevin Feige not being the biggest comics fan. And I think we talked a little bit about that on the last stream. Yeah. Agreed on M&F too. I liked Marcus and McFeely. I liked Agent Carter. Yeah, Agent Carter was a good show. It was a good show. I went back and watched it a while back, and yeah, it was pretty good. Other news channels had it too. Just search it. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's not that big a deal. But Chillmonger, he might boycott me. He might be like, you know what, Trinity, I can't believe you're reading an article from Variety. You might as well go drink some Starbucks and eat at McDonald's. Support all these places who are supporting the... Anyway, we don't do that. We don't do that here. The politics. But anyway, guys, I think that's really all I have for this show, for this live stream. Just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about, some of the woes and of the MCU and how wishy-washy the fans are. Like I said, like, it's been funny watching these past couple weeks as everybody's like, oh, everybody's so down on the MCU and Marvel Studios and how terrible it is. And then last week happens, everyone's like, oh, Loki, this trailer for this show that we don't even want to watch. Oh, Marvel's back. And then now it's kind of back to Marvel's shit again, right? Banned, says Carl. Oh, now there's Carl now. Carl, we needed you here earlier. I was talking about Brie Larson. Brie will carry Kang. Oh man, that's funny. But anyway, guys, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you to all the channel members. Thank you, Carl, for being here. Daniel, Nikki, Weed Richards, StarWarsMCU-OG, James Jimenez, the Nerdy Brew. Who else do we have here? RC Scott, Lucas Texvenger. I feel like I forgot somebody. Did we forget somebody? Aglax didn't even stop in and troll me. Oh, Jason was here from Polyhedral Paradise. He might still be here lurking. But yeah. Oh, and Ryan Unknown is here. He's like, hi, bye. Speaking of which, Ryan, did you go out and support Alpha Core? I know you did, you son of a bitch. I did too. Which cover did you get? I bought all the covers. I bought all the covers of Alpha Core. I got all of them. I got all the covers, and then I got a shirt too. And I ordered the hoodie. I ordered the Rippaverse hoodie too. I didn't do the beanie or the sweatshirt. I really don't get that cold where I live at, and the hoodie will probably get me by. But thank you all so much for being here today. You all have a great rest of your evening. Tomorrow I am going to go. Me and my son are going to go watch the Marvels. I know my son. I'm taking my son to see. Oh my god. No, we're going to go watch the Marvels. And then after that, the season finale of Loki comes out. So tomorrow's going to be a shitty day, right? It's not going to be that great. It's going to be pretty... I wonder how bad it's going to be. Is it going to be one of those days where the plane crashes into the mountain or the towers? I don't know. Yeah, regardless. Where everybody's going to be all down on Marvel again. Like I said, it's been a roller coaster. Everybody was down on it. Everybody was kicking them while they were down. Then they were all high on it. And now they're down again. And after tomorrow and the season finale of Loki and watching the Marvels, everybody might be more down. But I don't know. That's just if you ask me. Thank you all so much for being here. Have a great rest of your week. Channel members, we're definitely going to get together, read some Moon Knight, read some Thunderbolts. It's going to be a good time. That will be this weekend. And we will see you all in the next video. Later.
Oh, Veedo, thank you. Thank you for letting me come in here. I'm glad I can still get a good meal.
Oh, yeah, sure. Here you are, Mr. Burgundy. The chef made it special for you. You eat that for the way you talk about my city.
I will not eat that.
You are going to eat that cat poop.
I will not eat cat poop.
You will eat cat poop.
Ron Burgundy says no.
You make a fool of me and everyone here. You put that cat poop in your mouth.
No.
Yes.
No.
See.
I will not eat cat poop.
You will do it immediately.
No.
You will.
Fine, I'll try to eat one.
Yeah, get in there.
If I take one bite, will you get me a steak? If I take one bite of shit, will you bring me a steak?
I'll think about it. Yeah, get in there. You see? Yeah.
Oh, please.
Start with the egg.
I'm so hungry.
There.
Oh, God.
A steak, a big steak for him, please.
Oh.
No.
I had one bite.
That's not enough. No,
Son of a bitch.
Like this, you take it like this. Oh, don't cry. Don't cry. He's not crying. He's not crying. Don't cry, man.
I'll eat the shit. I don't care.
Okay. Don't cry, please.
I'll eat the entire hunk of shit.
Okay.
Oh.
Finish it up. Don't you feel better now?